If you've ever looked at your SharePoint document libraries and been confused by what you've seen, this video is for you. I'll show you how to organize and filter your document libraries to make them a lot more efficient and easier to understand and allow you to get to that information that you need much more quickly and easily. We're also going to take a look at version history, easily one of SharePoint's best features. That will allow you to eliminate those V1, V2, V3 final, V4 really final document names that you've probably seen so many times before. It'll also allow you to recover documents if they're ever overwritten inadvertently. But you know the deal. Let's head on over to the computer and take a look. Okay, so here we are in a fairly standard document library. As you can see, I have a fairly large collection of documents here. There are no folders in this library. This is just for convenience sake. But I've got a mixture here of Word, Excel, and PDF and text documents. So there's quite a lot going on in here. This interface was updated fairly recently by Microsoft. We did do a video on that a little while ago. That's linked down in the description, so make sure you check that out so you're all familiar with the new document library interface. But let's take a look at the views of our documents. So every document library will by default come with it, and the only view it will have by default is something called All Documents, which unsurprisingly shows you all of your documents. So now if we just take a look at some of the ways that I can kind of alter my view of these documents, I can sort on any of these headers which I have within my list. So I've got name, I've got modified by. Now these are standard metadata columns which will come out of the box with any SharePoint document library. There are a few others as well. You will get created, so when the document was created. You will also get created by. I'm not showing these in this particular view. I've also got over here a contract owner column, which is a custom metadata column that I've added myself to this library. Now, we're not going to cover custom metadata columns in this video. That is slightly more of an advanced topic, but there will be something coming up on that in a subsequent video, so watch out for that. But if I want to sort by any of these columns, I can just click here. I can sort by ascending, or I can choose by descending, so alphabetically. I can sort by the modified date, so older to newer, or newer to older. Sort by the modified. All of these were modified by me, so that would be fairly pointless, but I could decide to order by the contract owner. So let's go A to Z. You can see we have all of Adele's documents at the top. Scrolling through, we've got Alex, Diego, Grady, Henrietta, etc. All great. So that's a really simple first level view at sorting your document library. You'll notice as I've been going through and making these changes, I've got this unsaved changes little pill has appeared above my all documents view. So SharePoint knows that I've changed this view from its default and it's telling me that this is unsaved. If I want, and I want contract owner alphabetical to be the default for this document library view, I can click on Save View. If I want to, I can save view as to give this a new name. I can rename the view, or I can reset the view changes. So I'm just going to reset the view changes, and this will set it back to its default value. So if I wanted to add a new view, let's do that. Let's create a simple view. So I click on Add View, and I'm going to say Documents, for instance. I've got the option to make this a public view. That is the default. If I uncheck that, SharePoint will tell you public views can be visited by anyone with access to the list. If I uncheck that, then only I will be able to see that view. A couple of different ways we can show our view. The default is list, so it's this kind of standard list view. I can view that as a calendar. Really useful for event type libraries and lists. If I just clicked on the calendar view, default layout would show a date on the calendar being perhaps the date it was created and the date it was modified. It doesn't always work with a standard document library layout, but if you had a custom date in your document library for, say, a review date, it might be quite useful to have a calendar view, so you could just bring that up and you could see which documents were due for review on a particular date. Also have something called a gallery view, which will show you documents viewed in a kind of card-based layout. Useful more for list items than document library views, but we're just going to concentrate and create a standard kind of list view here. So I'll click on create, switch to only marks document to that particular view. I can switch between the two views by using these little pills. This document library view is identical to the one I created previously. So I'm just going to filter this particular column and then we'll save our view. So I'm going to click on filter by, and it gives me the options within that column that I can filter. And I'm just going to say show only marks documents. Click on apply, and you can see I've got unsaved changes there. So I can just click save, and there's my document library view. So I have 8 documents that are assigned to marks. So very quickly, I've gone from a list of, I think there's around 70 or so documents in here, easily gone to just a view of those 8 particular documents. So that's great. That's a really useful view to have if you want to be able to view the contract owners for any particular document. But let me just clear that view. Let's go and create a new view, but let's do something a little bit more advanced. Let's look at filtering to show only Word documents, and then let's group it by the contract owner. So if I want to be able to filter this document library view, I'm going to click and add view, Word docs by owner. And again, I'll make this a list view. If I want to filter this, I can click on this little filter button. It will bring up this panel here. I will say only Word documents. So it's instantly just filtered that list down to contain only Word documents. That's great. Then if I want to group by the contract owner, I can click on my contract owner column, click by group by. So you can see I now have this expand and collapse view where I can instantly see all of the Word documents that are assigned to particular people. So I can see that Diego has 5 documents. I can come along, I can expand those. You can see that document library view requires saving, so I will save that particular document. There are so many different options for creating document library views, sorting, grouping, filtering. It really does make it a lot easier to be able to kind of slice and dice through your data by using document library views. You can do all of this manually, but just by having these pre-configured views that users can kind of click through to get to the information they need quickly and easily, really is a massive time saver. Let's go back to our default view and let's have a look at versions. So as you work in documents in SharePoint, it will be saving those versions in the background for you. When you open up documents and you make changes, it saves it every few seconds as long as you have autosave on. It is possible to switch autosave off. There are very few cases where you would actually want to do that. So just leave the autosave on unless you have a really good reason to switch it off. But if I click on this ellipsis here, you can see I've got all of these various options for my document. If I scroll down and look at the version history, you can see I can go back to the 16th of January. This is version 1 of my document, and I can look at any of these particular versions. So one of the great things about this is if someone goes into a document and makes a catastrophic change, inadvertently deletes several slides from a PowerPoint presentation, or messes up a formula within an Excel spreadsheet, which basically destroys the entire functionality of the spreadsheet, you are able to then go back to a previous version and roll that back. You'll notice here I set the contract owner column, metadata column for this particular document earlier today, and you will see that reflected in the changes that have been made in the version. But let's just say I want to go back to version 4 of this document. I can click on that. I can, if I want, I can view that. It will download the document so I can take a look. I can restore this version, which will overwrite the current version with this one, or I can delete it if I want. I don't think I've ever deleted the version of a document. I suppose it's good to have the option. Don't delete it unless you've got a really, really good reason. Just leave it in place. If there's something really, really confidential in that particular version that really shouldn't have been put into there, then consult with someone in your compliance or your legal department and then maybe delete the version. Otherwise, just leave them in place. But what I'm going to do I'm going to click on restore, and it's going to say you're about to replace the current version with the selected version. I can cancel, or I can say OK. If I click on OK, you'll see I now have version 6. So what SharePoint has done, it's created a new version. So effectively version 4 will be the same as version 6, but it's taken that version 4 and it's overwritten the previous version 5, and it's put that in as that new version. So I've always got that kind of safety net there. Version history really is one of SharePoint's best features. I've seen it get people out of hot water on many, many occasions. And as long as you keep control of those versions, that is a topic for another video, and that's something that we will cover at some point in the future, is managing the version history chaos within your document libraries. As long as you keep those under controls, it's a fantastic feature. So there we go. Storing and organizing your data in SharePoint really isn't that difficult once you understand some of the basics of the metadata columns that SharePoint gives us out of the box. So we can sort, we can group, we can filter, we can create views to be able to kind of hone down that massive information that we've got there. And the version history, what a fantastic feature. Being able to kind of roll back through previous versions, recover from mistakes if they happen. And let's face it, they do happen. But also having a single document with all of that version history rather than the V1, V2, V3, or even worse, the one I've seen so many times and I really hate, V5, do not use. Why? This is part 2 in our SharePoint Simplified video series. Parts 1 and 3 are linked down in the description, so make sure you head on over and watch those. And if you are struggling and you'd like to talk to an expert, then do head on over to our website at iglootech.com. It is linked down in the description. Fill out that contact form and we'd love to talk to you.